Alright, so I'm in my boneyard now. I want to get some metal. I'm going to make some planter boxes for my wife. And I've got this old skirting that came off of our house when we bought it. That's a whole nother story I can get into later, but so I'm going to grab that, and that'll be kind of like the facade of the planter boxes. I've got quite a few of those sheets that are just loaded up. They're about 25 to 30 inches, so I'm hoping to cut them in half and get about 13 to 15 inches out of it, and that'll be what the planter boxes are, at least 15 inches high. And then we'll just backfill, get some dirt and stuff, and fill them up with plants. Okay, I got my metal, and now I got to get some wood for some framing material. And I'm gonna pull from here. Most of this is exterior type of stuff that I would use. So black locust, old railroad ties. I think there's even a little bit of cedar in there. Mainly I'm gonna make this kind of the skeleton out of 2x2, 2x3s. If I use black locust, I could definitely get away with 2x2s. It's super strong and holds up well. So we'll see. And these boxes are, we'll see what the lumber tells me, but I'm thinking 3x5, 2.5 to 3x5. I want to maximize the lumber the best I can. So yeah, I'll get this together and take it over to the work site, and we'll start figuring it out. Okay, so I figured out that the chunks of metal, which is just like regular metal roofing, are exactly 3 feet wide. So that's the dimension we're going to go for the width. So I'm going to mill down a bunch of this kind of offcuts down to 3-foot pieces, probably 3 foot by 3 inches. So I'm going to do that right now. Well, can't get going this morning. I got to take a time out. My lubrication line came off, so let me grab a clamp. I'll bring it back when I get that fixed, and we'll get going. All right, take two. I got the lubrication line fixed up. The line is getting kind of brittle, so I got to get some new, but nothing black tape and a hose clamp can remedy for the morning. So we're gonna rip these down now. Right now I'm just trying to get a straight edge, then I'll flip them around and I'll cut 3 inches, or yeah, at least 3 inches out. Even small stuff like this, I'll use for stickers. And that's the boards between your lumber. So it puts a little space, air gap in there, and helps dry it out. This one's a little thin, but this one's good. This isn't fine carpentry, this is for garden boxes. So there's a little bit of checking here, but that's fine. I'm good with it. These are going to be 3x5. Yeah, 12'3". And again, I need to rip them down to 3 inches. I'm going to see what I got here now. It's a little over 6 feet, so I get two 3-footers out of this. Take a time out here. So for years, I'd go cheap on power tools like Ryobi, Black & Decker, stuff like that. And you know, maybe they're all made in the same factory, but recently for Father's Day I treated myself to a new set of Makita cordless tools, and this is the 40 volt XGT series. And this worm drive, I mean, I can hold it out like that, and so, you know, it's got some stout to it, but it's light enough to where I can do that. My skill saw worm drive, no, that thing's probably like 20 years old. It's heavy. Cuts good though. If I was ripping something really long, I would go to that. But this 40 volt, it's got a lot of power. I've been really happy with it. I've been running it, like I said, since Father's Day, so a few months now, and I built quite a bit. And these 40 volt, well, this one is, yeah, this is a 4 amp hour, but I got 2 amp hour batteries too that I use in the drill. I use the 4 amp just because in the saw, because it takes more juice. But I could not be happier. I really wish I would have bought something of quality a long time ago, as far as cordless tools go. Now, I got a lot of good quality corded tools, but I'm a good, probably 80-90 feet from my barn or a power source, so I'd have to run extension cord, and I do that for my fan. Today is beautiful, upper 50s, supposed to be mid 60s for a high, so I can't beat the weather, so I didn't break out the fan. Would be pointless anyways, because we're getting a north wind, and I always try to make the fan go that way. Typically we have south wind, but a front came through. So yeah, these 40 volt Makita tools, can't say anything bad about them so far. It came with a really nice blade, still sharp today, and I've probably sawed a few hundred feet of wood or board feet on it. So anyway, just wanted to show you kind of a little bit about what the tools I'm using now. Just doing 2x3s, and if I have to rip something down, I'll use the sawmill. If I was doing anything bigger, cut through big timbers and stuff, I probably would break out my skill saw, my worm drive skill saw, but just bark wire boxes today. So here's the metal I'm using. Like I said, I was used as skirting. For our house, we bought a modular home, used, and I completely redid it. You wouldn't even tell it's a modular home today. We put it on a 9-foot ceiling basement, but it came with a ton of the skirting, so I kept it. They skirted the house and the deck with this, and I've used it multiple times. I use it as roofing for my chicken coop, and I also created another garden box for my wife over there. So multi-use. Just making sure it's exactly 3 feet here. Yeah, it's a little over 3 feet. I want to cut this stuff as little as possible because it's just so loud when you cut it. Yeah, so I'm going to make my pieces, my width 38 inches. Going 37 3/4. That's what that exactly measures. That way I can get 2 pieces out of this 2x here. All right, I got enough pieces milled. We're gonna start assembling one, just so I can kind of figure out the metal. I like to get 2 pieces, or cut the metal in half, so that way I can go around and have more. So I'm thinking the planter boxes are going to be about 15 inches, all said and done. The metal will probably be 13. If I was thinking right, my overall length now should be 5'5". 5'5". So I had to cut these down to 5'2" to account for the 3 inches these 2x on the ends add to it. I'm going to get it roughly square. Again, not fine carpentry here. I'm within a 1/4 inch. I'm fine with that. To do that, you just measure your diagonals. All right, within an 1/8 there. All right, so this is black locust, very hard wood. You almost always have to pre-drill. And it's a good thing to bring multiple drill bits because you will dull them up. I like to use nails because they're a lot cheaper. And I've got a ton of nails from one of my old jobs, but it just won't drive it in all the way. So it usually leaves it proud at least a 1/4 inch. Then I got to go back and hammer them all. Hopefully it doesn't split, which it's hard to split this wood, but it's real hard on that frame and nailer too. So screws it is, and I'm just using 3-inch exterior screws. I like to carry them in my pouch. I don't have to drag the bucket everywhere, but everybody's a little different. Yeah, and I don't like traditional tool belts. I'll wear them if that's all I got. But this is a tool vest that my wife made, and I just kind of gave her the, basic idea of what I wanted, and she did a good job. I mean, I've definitely worn it, but yeah, I prefer the vest. A little easier on the shoulders and stuff. It spreads the weight, and then I have my hammer on the back to kind of counter the front. It's only a 16 ounce hammer, but I'm not framing heavy duty stuff here, so most of it's just going to be drilling and screwing. I will say that's one thing about these drills, the XGTs. There's no little magnetic tray to put a couple screws, and I am kind of used to that. If you're up on a ladder and stuff, it helps, especially if you're not wearing your vest or belt. But I'm getting used to not having it too. The power and the settings and stuff, totally worth it. Okay, I think I'm going to put a cross member in here just to kind of take out these bows, give it a little bit more rigidity. We won't have one up on top, but I'll have a frame around the top to help structure that. I mean, I'm going to make another one of these, and we'll come up a little ways. Yeah, we better put one in there. I got some scrap here. Got a handful that are 27, so if I make it 27 and then put my border around, which is 1.5 inches, that's 14.5 inches. I'm sorry, 27 divided by 2, because I want to get 2 pieces out of that. So I'm making 13 plus my cap essentially, which will be a 2x. I'm gonna go consult the missus and probably get some lunch, so we'll come back after lunch. All right, back from lunch. So just gonna get back to it now. Now I'm gonna make my uprights, which come out to be about 6 inches. I'm gonna go with something like that. Like I said, the metal will actually provide a lot of structural support too. This is just to give us something to screw the metal onto. But this way I can put some pocket holes in those uprights and secure them. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go get my jig. Okay, I just have the Craig system. the older system. I know they've come out with a couple new models, but this one has served me well. That's all it is. You put the wood in there and you drill. So I'm going to do these 4 right now. I'll just put you on time lapse. Idea. Still pretty light. Once these get set in place, it's highly unlikely they're going to be moved. But just in case, I wanted to, you know, make it as light as possible, but still have that strength and longevity. So now this should be right about 12 inches. Yep. So I got to cut some metal now. A lot of cut metal. We debate whether or not to use a cut-off wheel or just a pair of snips. Cut-off wheels out, probably 2. But I have 1 cut-off wheel left, and I don't want to run to the store. Alright, let me go get my snips. Sure what I'm going to use to fasten these. Yeah, I was going to use staples, but I think I'm going to find some screws, maybe some gutter screws. I don't really have any sheet metal screws per se. I'll bring it back. All right, found just the right screws here. Come to think about it, these are the screws that were on there. So when we took the skirting off, we went ahead and saved all the screws. So that came in handy. They're just 1/4 inch bit hex head. Okay, everybody, my battery died and it just kind of kept working, but this is a complete one. I'm just gonna keep making them until I run out of material, run out of this white metal. But that's how it'll sit in the garden area. I put these down here. These are some cutoffs of railroad ties, and I kind of wanted to put them on the bottom. That way I can just mow around there and I don't have to weed eat or trim. I think it'll work out. I guess time will tell. You know, I jetted it out, kind of just leveled it up, or plumbed it up with the top piece of trim. But yeah, that's the finished product. Like I said, about 3 by 5, 5.5, somewhere in there. So, okay, I'll bring it back. These are going to be my top trim work. But one thing I wanted to point out was yesterday when I was milling up some old 2x4s, which I thought I got all the nails, and I did not. So I hit a nail, which is no bueno for the sawmill. Now, it probably ruined a couple teeth in there, and I don't know if you could hear the difference, but what I'm sawing now is like that get. It's a few of those teeth are probably just out a little bit further. You can see this right here, that's typically not there. So either the tooth is missing, or it's bent out, or it's offset too much, but whatever, it happens. Part I'm just using some cutoffs from railroad ties. So I put in a retaining wall / garden hedge wall. It is a retaining wall. I got my dead man's in there and everything. It's just not that tall. Anyways, I thought it would look nicer if I skimmed off a 3/4 inch or so like that. And railroad ties are, I mean, very nice to me. I really like the look of them. I know they don't last as long as concrete, but they're cheaper. They're a little harder to handle, but they obviously take up more space, and I got the big ones. So these are some cutoffs where I just faced them. I took about 3/4, give or take, off each one. So now my wall up there, and I'll put a picture in there, is all faced, and I just think it looks really nice, and got a little bit of that creosote seeping through and stuff, but it really shows off a lot of the wood too. And like I said, I just treat it every so often with my homemade mix. So yeah, I'm gonna put these on the bottom so that they last a little bit longer. I don't know if they last longer than the black locust, but I've got them, so I've been saving them. I have them. I've been using them for my walkway in front of my sawmill right now, which has been nice to have. But all right, so let's throw these on there. Okay, so another one done. From here on out, it's just a rinse and repeat. I think I could probably get 2 more, but I'm not going to film that. That pretty much concludes this video. I'll follow back up when we start filling it up and put some plants in there and stuff. But that's all she wrote. Thanks.